Hey, welcome again to another episode of Cardboard Conversations. I'm Pat the Popper here, joined by a nice crew. Tonight we've got the MTG Gaming crew, Matt, Bob, also ashenwingz, also known as Alex. How y'all doing tonight, boys?
Yo.
Good.
And thanks everyone out there on the YouTube. Whether you're joining us now live or later on, thank you for joining us at all. Please, if you feel like you want to comment on anything, leave it down below. Or if you're live, let us know. We might well chat about it while you're here with us tonight.
Yeah, hit us with your questions. Let's make it active. Let's get it on.
And just as a big
We're
shout out, I want to say thank you. You know, we're here at 6 months now that we've been doing the Cardboard Conversations. So thank you. We've grown really big. You know, me, Bob, Matt, everyone, we want to thank you for your contributions, your comments, subscriptions, likes. You are what makes this channel go on. So thank you a whole lot.
Very true.
Woo! We're doing it, guys.
We're doing the thing because we had cameras and we could connect to YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We hit record. That was really the big thing, you know.
We figured it out, boys.
I want to start it off with a gripe, if I may.
We'll do it. Let's do it. Let's
Why
start.
doesn't TCG player, why doesn't TCG player have a dark mode? I'm getting blasted in the
For
face.
real.
So much white right now,
Oh god.
and I just
wow.
want a dark. I just want a
That
dark
was kind of
mode.
racist.
I just want a dark mode. I just want a little bit more dark in my life. Is that so much to ask for? Like,
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fun. You know, that's the way
Every
it
time
should
we do
be.
this
Every time I
podcast,
go
I'm
on to
like,
MTG Gaming, MTG stocks, boom, I can go ahead, click the button. Doesn't hurt my eyes. Google's on it. Yahoo's on it. What the heck, guys?
Yep.
I just want to be informed on what the market's doing, but every time I do it, I get blinded.
Well, now with the TCG buyout of Channel Fireball, you might actually get your wish. As I understand, there's going to be some tech changes coming.
Whoa. Let's go.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that. I'm like, wow, some big people joining together. It's pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of
Although
change.
I will say, Channel Fireball has some pretty bad. Well, has some negativity on it with the whole Flesh and Blood situation. But like, I guess we'll see.
I'd still like to know how that really ultimately affects things. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
I know people want to point the finger of blame, but what
Yeah.
really it was a bubble that popped, right? It truly was. And I like Flesh and Blood. I believe in the product. I think that they actually stand a great chance of knocking Magic off its top of the hill. And I've said this before. I think either Channel Fireball or Star City Games, I can't remember. There's a podcast that I had come up with an idea for a video some time ago comparing the PvE environment, what people would call Care Bear environment. If you ever played MMOs like WoW or Ultima Online or EverQuest, you know, when WoW came along, people laughed at it. It was the cartoon game when it was first releasing back in like 2004. And it blew all of the other MMOs out of the water right out of the gate by many factors, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
the real reason when you look back at it is it was aimed much more at the casual player. And there are far more casual players out there, right? That's where the money base is. And
Yeah.
PvE is a far more casual environment. If you think about it, let's say, how many of you have like a wife, girlfriend, cousins, I don't know, just some dude on the corner that would be far more willing to sit down and play Magic with you if you weren't trying to smash his face in a game, and instead you're all on the same team and, hey, we got to beat the game. Sit down and it's cooperative, right? That is powerful. That is so powerful, and you can look at it in terms of it's very relevant to say WoW versus EverQuest, which was the big dog. It was the top papa. Everybody was into Evercrack. Everybody heard it. And it blew away in the first 3 months. I mean, like,
You know, just
tripled.
have the option of playing Magic by yourself. You know, trying to, instead of goldfishing, having an actual environment where you could play that deck in a different format of some sort versus a boss or, you know, the PvE environment where you could go and quest with that deck. To have that solo experience is something a lot of players are into. I know myself, most of the games I play are one-player games. I'm not sure about you, Alex, but I know definitely that I would enjoy a lot of Magic as a solo player. Do you think you would be up more for multiplayer, or would you want to be able to have that as a single player only?
I think as long as they didn't forego the competitive aspect of a game, I think it couldn't hurt, right? Branching out and adding new things does not hurt a company, right? It's when they remove a dedicated player base from something is when things, because there's a lot of people who, I mean, what you can talk about the whole alchemy situation on Arena, right? Nobody who's been playing paper for 20 years of their life is probably like, yeah, I love alchemy. Like, I love everything about it. A lot of people seem to have a very negative reaction to it. And so, like, I think the idea of a multiplayer fight a boss thing, like, I believe that's what Flesh and Blood is starting to do. Or they talked about
more
it
than
in
that.
something. So, yeah.
It's supposed to be like more of a dungeon delving experience with your bros. So it should be real fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I'm on the same boat. I also have just started opening Flesh and Blood in Uprising. I just opened a bunch of Uprising boxes on my channel. And I love the product. I love the competitive aspect of the game, but I also think that if you added a PvP, concept into, or a PvE concept into a card game, I don't think it could hurt. It's just like Commander, but instead of fighting against one another, you're fighting against one being, right? It brings people together, and that's why, I mean, Commander is one of the bigger formats in Magic right now, because you get to just kind of chill and hang out with your friends and have a fun little time, except for those who go infinite and rule zero.
Boo,
everything.
Pat says
Whatever.
to Ed. Boo. And that's one of the things, is that's great. It's not something that has to be for everyone. It's not like Vintage is for everyone. Commander's not for everyone. Shit, Pack Opening Addict. I played with him for his first ever game of Commander. So it's not for everyone. The guy's been playing this for 20 plus years. First time he ever played an EDH game. Some people get into it, some people get out.
I think Nika's just the same way, right? He's like pretty heavy into modern and whatnot, but he doesn't really play much Commander.
Yeah.
And that's a personality type, though. We've had Nikachu on here. He's a very competitive player. He played competitive chess. He played competitive Pokemon. He's just one of those people that enjoys the challenge of beating other people, other smart people. Just the tendency, though, and I have lots of pages bookmarked and different examples of gaming, that the larger audience is casual. Commander is considered the casual format, and if you look even within the microcosm of Commander within Magic, as soon as it became prevalent on the scene, it is so ultra dominant, right? Now expand that out to people like my fiance, who doesn't want to play Magic ever, but if it was PvE, she's like, yeah, sure, I'd do that. Well, and I'm telling you, the first one that brings some there are other games out there. Let me just point out, there are other LCGs out there that do have PvE environments, but they're kind of stale because they're a living card game, right? There's no variance. There's no, rip the wrapper and see what you got kind of mentality. So if Flesh and Blood or whomever is the first to market that can combine that dopamine fix with the casual PvE format, man, I'm telling you, it's going to change the game. It's going to be the big dog on the block. It's just the way it is. It'll be the WoW.
And you mentioned different varying, we'll say, knowledge or skill set within Magic, like the girlfriend, the friend, the family member, or whatever, of being able to just kind of come in and play. It helps even having those veterans that, if it can appeal to the veterans and the newbies, it allows the newbies to absorb some of that knowledge that the veterans have just by playing that PvE version, and then it'll make them a better PvP person. So I don't know. I just think it's a very good entry level for games like this, and it's interesting because we talk about it like this is like innovational, like nobody's ever done this. That's not true. Magic's done this multiple times and it's failed. So I'm curious to see if Flesh and Blood can do it. There was like the Hydra pack that you could buy. Like there's like a PvE deck you can buy from, somebody pilots the Hydra and you have to fight against the Hydra's heads from, I think it was Theros. So I mean, they've done it multiple times, but it's failed. So I'm curious to see if Flesh and Blood can succeed. It is.
That's 1v many. They did it with Arch Enemy. They did it with the Hydra. And there are other games out there that do the 1v many. It's kind of like being a dungeon master. Like most people that play D&D, I hate to say it, I know you're a DM, but most people that play Dungeons and Dragons, They're like, I don't want to be the DM. I want somebody. I want to play. I want somebody else to be the DM. And
When you're
what
the
it is.
DM, though, you want to play. I also DM pretty frequently.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, do you? Nice.
yeah. It's. I mean, once you DM for so long, at some point you're like, I kind of want to play a little bit, but
See,
like,
I'm in
it
the
all
perfect
depends on the player group.
situation. I DM on Sundays, and then I alternate with another DM, so we play 2 campaigns simultaneously. So I've got the kind of perfect situation where I'm playing in a game one week and then DMing the next.
That's nice.
And that goes to show there will be the competitive players out there. So I agree with Alex
Mhm.
saying that you can't forego the environment you've created so far for the competitive players, but adding in the PvE, if they do it correctly, if they do it just like the other LCGs have done it, then it'll probably experience the same type of success that those have, limited, right? They've got to put in there the chase. They've got to put in there that dopamine fix, the randomness of what's in packs, right? Like you open a pack that's the enemy pack, so to speak. Like you buy, say, something like a theme deck, right? And it's got 4 decks for players and 1 deck for the enemy. You don't know what it is, and it's $30 for that one-time playthrough, right? And you guys are each going to get a deck to battle against whatever. They've got to do something like that to where you just don't make it stale like the living card games. Anyways, I'm just saying that's totally off topic. It wasn't even on our list for tonight, but it's something that I think about constantly. And I'll tell you what, if Flesh and Blood brings it out and it's good, I'm personally going to throw a shitload of money at it. I'll bet you a whole lot of people will.
Yeah, I liked your idea when we talked about this way back when it was first like introduced. I liked your idea of having like a reward pack of sorts, like you complete a dungeon and you get to crack open a pack, and then you get to kind of distribute like the gear or the cards that are within that pack. You kind of like level up your character based on like that kind of, you're growing your character's power based on like the gear that you're getting, because that's kind of what it needs. It needs like that. It needs a sense of progression. I feel like if you just build a deck and you like fight through the scenario, it's not as fun as building a deck, maybe even starting off a little weak, and then like actually like equipping your character with the gear as you go through multiple different scenarios, and like you grow with power.
Right,
like an action RPG almost.
Like raiding in an MMO.
Yeah,
like literally
exactly.
like raiding. That makes sense.
If you watched what
as I was giving examples earlier, that was one of the things that when I first had played World of Warcraft was that someone had already been playing World of Warcraft, enjoyed the experience, and they had been able to give me 14 days free so that we could play together. Now imagine just that kind of an experience where someone invites you along for the adventure. Now, if I'm already having a fun time playing this, and then I can say, hey, buddy, you're new to it, but I can help you through this first boss or two. Me and you will get those demons. That kind of a thing. You know, it sells it as Dual Brain saying, together, not against. You know, Magic's always been so adversarial, whereas switching kind of the theme of it, I think would bring a lot of people in, especially new people.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is I think that WotC really should pay attention to that. That could be a
they are
of all the things that have come
keeping
along.
an eye on it.
They have to. I mean, think about it, right? What
like you're saying that, but they haven't announced any plans whatsoever.
Oh, they're gonna wait until it flops or not.
I mean, because think about it, right? Think about what
the money
doing the. I mean, even if it's so much as I was just looking at your background, Matt. Even if it's just like Planeswalkers versus Eldrazi, right? Like a big like take down the Eldrazi like thing, right? Like how I mean, there's so many Magic players who actually like the lore of the game and would be down to like play as the Gatewatch and go against the Eldrazi, or
you can literally pick your Planeswalker to start and go fight something big.
Right,
it'd be so easy.
Like there'd be something to do. Yeah, I mean, it's probably. I'm sure it's on a whitewboard somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
Freaking headquarters.
They're gonna wait to see.
All right,
yeah.
See if somebody else
for
fucks
Flesh
it up
and Blood.
first. Whoop, sorry, swore.
Oh, it's fine. We're 20 minutes in or whatever.
Okay.
I feel like the YouTube algorithm only gives a crap about the first.
I do
5 minutes.
I do feel like that's the future of where TCGs need to evolve to.
Mm-hmm. It's a good place. It's a good place to be. I mean, like I don't know, like I said, it doesn't hurt the company to do something like that, right? To throw something out there and go, hey, here's this thing, right? Even you can even, I don't know if you wanted to introduce it as a board game to start, right? Like they did with all the other board games that nobody bought, I guess. But like you could start it there and just be like, this is kind of a new concept that we wanted to bring across, and wonder how many people would like the idea and see how much of it sells, see how many moms buy it for their kids, or whatever happens, and then it can kind of ease the way into that. And then you have information on not just that, but it comes in tandem with playing competitively, right? You can find out that you can go against you can fight other planeswalkers by playing in competitive things, like playing Pioneer or Modern or Standard or whatever. Like, these are all things you can do. And so I don't think it could hurt. And honestly, I think it's a great thing. I'm always optimistic about new things in old product. So,
especially something that's been around for 30 years at this point.
Yeah.
They have to innovate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they don't, other people will, and they'll fall behind.
Now, what about old things and new products? Bob, do you have any thoughts about old things on new products, like what you've got sitting there behind you? AKA reprints.
I'm an old guy that bought a bunch of new products.
Well, it's new old though. It's like new old stock. Like,
except for Cryptic Spires. That's also, hey, first time we're ever seeing in a Masters product an original card. I know it's nothing special. Don't get me wrong. But it's also, hey, first time.
Isn't it only legal in draft?
Correct.
Like, you can't just put that in a commander deck. So, like, who gives a crap about it?
Right. It's
probably
literally
only
trash
legal in Double Masters draft, to be specific.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder. Let me see on the thing here.
Now, I'm sure if you did like a chaos draft, you could, if you did a pack of Double Masters, sure, you could use it for that as well.
Yeah, because Cryptic, every other deck is constructed. So
now, see, that's problematic. Like, I wonder how that was a random thought that I had. When you throw in packs,
it says Chaos Commander.
When you throw,
yeah, but what do they know?
When you throw together chaos, right? Yeah. These new formats of packs really screw with that. Like having, like a pack of Invasion and a pack of Lorwyn and then a pack of Commander Legends, right? They're not equal packs. Mm-hmm. Commander Legends and Commander Legends 2 and Double Masters 22 were all designed to be double drafted. I think the Double Masters was two on the first draft and then one thereafter. Anyways, they changed the draft format and then throw in, Jumpstart. These when you start throwing these really differently designed packs, I think it really kind of screws up the chaos format.
Yeah, it makes it fun. So, interesting about Cryptic Spires, it's actually legal in Legacy, Vintage, Pauper, and Commander, which I was under the understanding that it was strictly for draft. So that's very interesting to know that. I wonder. I thought for sure they said it was specific.
How would it even fire off in Pauper?
It just taps for two colors. Like you just pick two colors, right?
Read the card.
I'm reading.
You'd have to say, it's when you create your deck, you can circle.
Yeah, as you create your deck.
So the moment you do that at the table, like circle it, like you're gonna bring one right with you and be like, hold on, I'm at 59. I'm not done with my deck yet.
I've got to finish my deck real quick.
Oh, a Cryptic Spires. Oh yeah, of course. That's crazy how that was right there.
Well, but the way that it worked on Moto is that you could switch the colors between rounds.
Oh, could you?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how it's read. As you create your deck, once it's created, how would you then switch it?
I guess because technically you're recreating your deck when you sideboard.
Interesting.
Is that technically the case? I guess
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm saying that's the way it works on Moto.
Huh.
So anyway, interesting stuff. But I mean, it's not an earth-shaking card, other than the fact that they broke the mold of the first non-reprint card in a master set, like what Pat said, which I think is. I like it. I don't know. Like there's no hard and fast rules that say master sets are only reprint sets. There's still agreement they have with the public that said that.
Why not throw a new card in every time you do it?
Sure.
Right. Why not?
I would love to see that, right? That the only place you see it printed is in like a Masters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Right?
Price
they've
never up, right?
They've never had that go backfire before. Just put Ragavan as the only print in a master set. Jesus.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, so Bob, we were opening up some of the draft box we had got in.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm super happy about it. So far, extended dockside, not too bad. One of those Renin 6, one of those extended Force of Negations, Warrior's Oath, Ulamog. So far, it's going really well. And I'm really happy
glad you're getting
about
some value out of it.
Are you drafting it or just opening it for fun?
Well, so that's the thing is, enjoying it, having a good time, hanging out, drinking some brews, opening some packs, just the way it was meant to be. I think that's a good thing to do with this product. I'd like to be able to get the draft. It looks like this weekend might not be the one, but we got another beat up box from Amazon we're doing next weekend.
Well, I mean, you bring up a good point, and a lot of people, even with my name tag is more of a meme. Keep it sealed. I believe in opening products. I believe you should have fun with it. What I don't believe that you should do is open the product expecting to make money. If you're buying it, like what you see behind me, as an investment, that's when you keep it sealed. If you're buying Magic to make money, you keep it sealed, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you make money, golf clap.
Right.
If you don't, still golf clap, and I hope you had fun, and it's
Mhm.
best to have fun with friends. But cracking it like a scratch-off lottery ticket, expecting to make money, whether you're a content creator trying to keep it solvent for your channel, whether you're even stores, I think is a terrible idea. I think if they just invested in things and kept it over time, they wouldn't have to push out as much product as immediately as possible. And they started selling boxes. That's what the store down I took Big Box Dave to, Sweets and Geeks, right? They have revised packs that they sell there. They have Legends packs that they sell there. They didn't see any Arabian Nights Alpha or Beta or Unlimited. But they had everything else. Morning Tide, Lorwyn, Urza Saga, Urza's Legacy, Exodus, Stronghold, you name it. They had everything. And they sell it at the premium prices. And I bet you they make a pretty penny at it. And if they had bought those years ago and are selling them now, and it's sort of like planting trees, you cut down trees if you're a tree farmer, but you don't cut them down every 3 months. You wouldn't have any effing trees to sell for lumber.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, you buy them now, you seed on it, you wait, and you sell them in the future for a much larger profit.
I just noticed, why do you have just a random single pack chilling off to the side there?
That is because of a lost bet and not the one to Pat, which I have to admit, and Matt, I'm going to have to eat crow here. I think you're right. I do not think the Cavern of Souls is going to get down into the 40s.
Nope.
It's already bounced back hard, people. Jesus. But
well, that's another discussion we had coming up for tonight is the bounce back of some prices as well. So why don't you explain that beautiful lost bet there and go ahead and talk about some of the prices tied there within.
So, in actuality, that was a bet that I made back in, oh, good Lord. It's to Decoy here, if he's still in the chat. I was worried after they revealed Renin 6 and Liliana and the Eldrazi that Renin 6 would be the most valuable card in the set. And when I say most valuable, I mean before the announcement of the reprint. Whatever the highest value card was, not versions, but base value, base card, that they weren't going to put anything more valuable in Double Masters than Renin 6. I was really worried about it because they usually bring their biggest bang first, right? That's what they've been doing for the last number of sets. I could not be more thrilled to be wrong. And I bet him a pack of Double Masters 2022. And I sat and waited on it, and I'm like, he was like, damn, I lost the pack, right? But I didn't want to crack any of my own boxes for it. First off, I didn't want to lose the value of the sealed. Secondly, how bad would that feel if I opened one of my boxes, gave him the pack, and he opens a textured foil out of one of my boxes? Be like, damn it. I would hate to be angry
bought
at
him some random dirty little single pack.
So I had to buy that off Amazon at $80.
Don't knock that though. I opened. So we bought, me and my buddy Jordan, right? We bought 4 loose collector packs. We opened one each. I got a foil etched Phyrexian altar and he got a textured foil Kozilek. Now, those are out of loose packs. So I don't know what Card Kingdom was doing, but they weren't kind of ripping open cases, looking for the good ones, and then leaving the rest. Or they had 2 in a case. Now, who knows? Decoy, you yourself could be getting a textured foil in that pack. So stay tuned. Let us know.
I'm curious, are they printing single packs and distributing them, or is it just they're just opening boxes?
Yeah, and that's a big stink. Like they're doing the same effing thing. I even reported one person on eBay. eBay really needs to fix the ability to report something that looks nefarious before it friction closes. Right? It's so hard to say, hey, this guy is advertising a single pack that has a value of about $80 for $199 because it's in a box and they think it's a collector box. And they're even saying Double Masters 2022 collector box on it, right? And that is, they need to change that on eBay. And people are buying these things, and I feel bad. You know, a single pack for $200.
Does that person have good feedback on their account?
I mean, it's already too late once you do that because they'll say, well, it is in a box.
It also depends
right.
what the description is. If the description says this is a single collector's item versus this is a single collector's box, you know, there's ways for people to be shysters and dance around it. So you have to shop very smart. You have to be very smart when you're buying items. You know, people.
I think Watsy really needs to change that packaging.
I don't think smart's the word. I think just observant. There's a difference between
I
smart
agree.
and observant.
People are ultimate. Look, everybody out there, you're responsible. If you take some silly ass advice that I give, like wait to buy Cavern of Souls till it gets to $35, you're gonna be waiting a damn long time. It's your responsibility for your money. We give the best advice that we can, but you really need to pay attention of what you're buying, who you're buying from. I'm still with Matt on that guy being shady as F. We brought it up again on the round table, asking, you know, what's going on with this? Like, is there any chance this guy got thousands of boxes? And the Eric from the Lotus Lookout said, no, there's no chance. So,
yeah. Speaking of things,
now think about that. Think about if you had been buying those boxes at the 250 mark from that guy, expecting you're getting collector boxes at 250, and they probably still don't have notice right now that, oh, their shit's been canceled. It's probably like still waiting on second wave, right? That kind of shit. And so they're going to wait and wait and wait and wait, maybe till the end of the month. What do you think the box prices are going to be at the end of the month?
well, while their money's tied up in this too.
While their money's tied up. That's exactly my point, right? They missed out the buying opportunity when they could have bought it for like $255 from the next seller, but they went, you know, for the couple dollars less. They bought off a guy that isn't going to deliver. Maybe. And I don't want to say they're not going to deliver. I'm saying it's very suspicious. I would like to know why they had hundreds of boxes all the way up till release day and then nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, I did a video that's gotten a decent amount of traction, and there's been plenty of comments that are like, I've bought from this guy. They're legit. They're 3 game stores in Kentucky. Like, there are people that are like vouching for them, saying that they're legit.
Even legit game stores make mistakes.
Right. I think that
even Amazon is canceling orders.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to me. If
That's
Amazon
so
can't
huge.
fulfill
So
everything,
that
there's
guy,
no way
that guy's getting more product and he's not canceling orders, but Amazon is. I'll bet he's going to wait till Amazon cancels more and more cancellations to announce his cancellations. So, hey, look, there's lots of people canceling.
Yeah, people are going to run. I mean, like, that's just it. And it's one of those things, right? You know, if it's too good to be true, right? It probably is. Do your research into stuff. Kind of just double check and make sure. That's why, like, I'm huge on making sure to check like feedback even for TCG sellers, like for sellers on TCG Player, feedback for sellers on eBay and stuff. Just because it's hard. Not that it's like the only thing I go off of, but you know, you have to be vigilant out there because there's a lot of people who will absolutely like just put one over you. They'll just pull one over you. They'll just be like, that's it. Like,
here's the thing, Alex. I don't know if do you know who we're talking about?
Which one? The eBay
game
guy or
the game?
Let's not call him out by name. Let's not call him out by name.
No,
I don't want to bash. I don't really like bashing.
The TCG Player one or the
TCG Player one, the one that had the only company on there that has 3 stores in Kentucky that has a 3-syllable TBC that isn't specifically named. He had hundreds and hundreds and thousands of. He would list 900 pre-sale orders of like draft, and then you would see it drain over the course of the day, and then they would sell out, and then he'd be like another 600, another 600.
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about that, and again, that is shady. I mean, for one person, not even Amazon to have like Amazon, you would think Amazon is where all that product's going to be, right? They've done it with Jumpstart and all these other things. Like you'd imagine that's where WotC is going to put all their stuff, right? It's be like, okay, we're going to ship it and put it in a warehouse. We'll wait for a second wave, yada yada. But like for some store just to be like, yeah, we got so much of it. We sold everything we own to get all these boxes that aren't guaranteed to show up at our door.
Well, the reason why I bring it up is because he had that store has over 50,000 positive reviews. So, like, even if you vet the reviews, they look like a completely legit source.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like,
but I think Matt's point, though,
he still doesn't have negative reviews.
I would still say, and Matt, you could tell me, but I'm pretty sure we've covered this before. I wouldn't buy from them. Not a chance. Not if it was that important that I actually get my product. When you're that far away from everybody else, that's far too. I was scared to death.
Anomaly. It's just
I was scared to death that I wasn't going to get these boxes behind me, and I've ordered from both of these companies myself thousands of dollars in product previously, and I was still worried that I wouldn't get my product. I was so ecstatic when I got the shipping notices.
Yep.
But it is what it is, man.
Talked about as well is the delay of delivery and probable cancellation on a lot of items. I myself am still waiting on a collector box to come in from Amazon. I just got in a draft box from Amazon, but still waiting for that collector. So who knows whether it's a delayed shipment for the second or third wave, or if it's something that's oversold and unable to be, fulfilled. I think that's something we're seeing a lot. And, good ups for Prodigy for coming through there.
Yeah. Very, very happy about that. But I mean, it's more just, we're trying to give the message out there, be careful, pay attention to the small details on everything. Look at the feedback. Is this seller extremely outside the norm?
Right. Because that's really what on this guy. That's what you're looking for, right? Like it's not, you do the whole thing even with like restaurants, right? Like restaurants, you see all these positive Yelp reviews and you're like, oh man, this place has got to be fantastic. But like, how many of them are bots, right? How many of them could be alternate accounts? Like, it's not just the feedback. You have to look at the other things. And so when everybody else has like 5 boxes, 10 boxes, 20 boxes, right? It's a regular amount to get in, but 900, 1,000, like, and then it's gone. And then 600 more pop up like that. It just doesn't make sense that this specific chain of people are getting everything in supply, and that is exactly it, right? That's what you should be looking for, is those strange anomalies. It's not just how many stars they have or how many positive reviews they have. You have to check the supply, look into the business, right? I mean, when you're buying stocks, you look into the white papers of the stocks, right? Like you look into these things specifically because there are other factors that most people who are average players in a market aren't going to look at. They're going to see the low price and they're going to see the quantity and they're going to go, cool, I can buy that, and not even have a second thought.
And this is a special product. I mean, that's you touched on something there. The average person out there, or the newer people out there that don't know this. This is a master's set. And historically, unless you've been around, master sets have tight print runs. That means they run out fast. It's not that you won't see a box in your LGS. It's not that you won't see them for sale. What does it mean to even run out?
What's that?
It means that they're going to run out at the lowest prices. So there's always going to be these boxes. You could go out and buy a box of beta right now. They're going to crack a box of beta at the Magic 30th. But you're going to have to bring a $500,000 check with you to buy that box of beta. Right. And that's the point. It's not about creating FOMO, but realize that there are differences between the sets. Like there was one guy I got in an argument with on I I did a video and he's like, oh, so it's confirmed that this is a one and done print run. Well, no, they don't confirm these things, but we know this from all of the collective information we're getting from the community at large, from Rudy and other people that are in direct contact with the distributors, like Eric from the Lotus Lookout. So there are different products that have different life cycles, right? Not only that, some of them that are in print, that are supposed to be print to demand, can get cut off short. Dominaria was famously, one of those sets that did well, that for some bizarre reason got cut off short. I think Throne of Eldraine got cut a little short. There are a number of standard sets that have been cut short recently, probably due to the state of the world and supply chain problems. I'll bet you because of the performance, AFR got cut off short because of its performance, right?
I think that's going to happen with
print, right?
With Baldur's Gate too, right? I think it's
Baldur's
a lot of.
Gate
I think that's something that a lot of people just didn't seem to enjoy, and so why would Wizards continue to print it?
Well, we don't know it yet, but you're exactly where I'm going with that one. That's something else that I was gonna that was the point I was gonna make, is that you can look at the performance of sets like Baldur's Gate. You can expect that it's gonna have a limited print run. It'll probably get cut off short. It probably won't get its second, third, fourth waves. Might get one more wave. I don't know, but I'm just saying we don't know these things intimately. It's not like I am on a teleconference with WotC saying, hey, what are you doing with this product?
Right.
But these are things when you're in the community, you get a feel for, right? And all of these things play a part in the economy, availability, and all of that. Like I'm kind of bringing my buddy along as a new investor since this spring. And one of his questions when he said, oh, so I should buy collector boxes for a set. That's the way. I'm like, no, there's no magic silver bullet formula for one size fits all. When you're investing in WotC, everything matters. How much of the set was available? How much was it at release? How well was it received by the public in general? These things, what are the value of the cards in them? All of this. Does it have anything special? Does it have the lottery card? There's no one size fits all. Like, for example, I'm not sure how closely you guys paid attention. If you're going to buy a box of New Capenna, which box did you target? Draft, set, or collector, and why?
Set.
See, I always check the list again.
Because the list is really good.
Because the list was off the effing chain. In New Capenna. They juiced it. There was I saw up to 11, 12 list cards in a set box. I'm like, what? So they put an inordinate number in there, and a lot of them were just crazy expensive. Set because of the list, absolutely. Do I normally like set? No, I normally poop all over set. Modern Horizons 2, probably better getting the set box. Commander Legends 1, if you could get it at the beginning, the collector box. Double Masters 22, you want the collector boxes. So it's not always the same for every set out there, right? If you're going for Kaldheim, I would say go for the draft, because you want to draft it, and the collector boxes don't have that much more value over the other boxes. And I'm not just talking about value, but you can actually draft with it. It's the only one of the 3 boxes you can actually draft with. And the same thing with other crappier sets like AFR or Crimson Vow or Midnight Hunt. If I'm getting any of those boxes, I want the draft boxes. Because at least it has a value.
You can also draft set packs.
Oh, dude, get bent.
Oh, Matt, you to fuck right off.
That Winchester draft can blow me.
You're so cute.
Technically,
Technically,
I like the Winchester draft. I actually think it's a really fun draft.
Whatever.
I don't play too much draft, so I don't really have a preference. I like
this
the
guy
idea
loves draft so much, but he never
thing.
plays draft, so I don't know why he likes it so much.
I will when the world changes and I'm allowed to leave the house.
Awesome.
Right.
I ordered 4 boxes of Dominaria Jumpstart, and then it went up $11. That's just a huge fan of that. Same thing with Unfinity. I'm like,
that's what I like
on that pre-order.
Yeah, the Jumpstart is
Jumpstart's really fun.
As far as like a starter set, even just for new players and just for in general, the idea of just pulling these 2 packs, slapping them together, and just being like, this is what you're gonna play with. no, you have to figure out the keyword differences and so on and so forth. Like, it's all right there, plain and simple, in your face. And sometimes you get cool little things like a Phyrexian swamp, or like
Allosaur Shepherd.
Allosaur Shepherd, right? Exactly. Like you get cool things out of it, and it's fun because there's so many different themes, and you're able to kind of learn more about like tribal stuff and learn about how these things work, and
it's quick to start.
It's quick.
You just play.
Exactly.
There's no setup. You just play.
Yeah.
The most you'll have to do is sleeve the deck if you want to sleeve it.
Oh, I agree. I think WotC definitely struck gold with that. I am so pleased to see. It's going to be more prevalent, though. I think piggybacking it on every standard set is too much.
Nah, I think it's great.
It's going to contain what? Aren't they supposed to contain like 20 new cards that aren't in the actual set through Jumpstart or something?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says something. Hold on. I got to pull it up. You guys keep talking. Give me a sec.
No, I agree. I think we're all something we can all agree on, that Jumpstart's the way to get a new player into the game.
I wonder if they're trying to remove draft with Jumpstart, because you remember it seems like they've been trying to like phase out the number of boxes, but then they're adding a new one. I wonder if they're trying to use Jumpstart as a replacement for draft. It makes more sense for the global. I'm assuming there's more people that would play Jumpstart than draft, just because of the knowledge that you need to do it.
Now, I've got to say, Coach, I've had no issues. I've opened a collector's pack and seen another right here in person and gone through about half a box of draft, and no issues, honestly, as far as collation in packs, the track printing, or quality. Everything seems pretty good.
I haven't opened any of it yet. I'm too stubborn.
I'm so happy that the one collector pack and 2 draft packs that I opened were so bad. I have no desire to open anymore. I
found the thing. By the way, it says in the contents of a Dominaria United's Jumpstart boosters, there will be 2 rare cards in every pack, including 1 new card not found in the DMU main set.
So 1 new card.
Is it rare or higher, or 2 rares?
2 rare cards in every pack. It doesn't say specifically on that new card, but if they're adding it in the specific slot, I'm imagining it's a rare. So,
are they saying that there's a whole slot that has a new that isn't in the whole?
Two traditional foil lands in every pack, 2 rare cards in every pack, including 1 new card not found in the DMU main set, and then each pack contains a certain theme as per normal. So, it's 2 lands, one of which 2 rare cards, one of which may be a mythic rare, so and 2 land cards that are traditional foil.
Oh, good. So they are putting mythics in there. Yeah, that would suck if it was just all rare.
It'd be horrible.
Right. Yeah.
No chance of the mythic, big.
Right. But having cards in there that aren't going to be part of the DMU set, it at least gives it its own specific like.
Well, that goes exactly with what Matt said that he hates. When I was talking about having like a card that's only in the master set, that would be very much on theme with that they're going to have cards that are only in the Jumpstart boxes.
I just said, imagine if they only had a card that was super, super good that you could only get from a very limited source.
Let's hope it's not
like Jumpstart packs.
Or like fucking Dockside. How about that?
That's what I said. I said Ragavan, but Ragavan could only be pulled from Double Masters collector's boxes. Can you imagine how expensive that one singular card would be? Even though it's needed in like 99% of the decks, they play that color.
And what happens if you get that same event happening in the Jumpstart packs?
But Jumpstart is printed to demand. It's not just limited print runs. It's printed to oblivion. It's still low.
The first one was, but these that are going to be printed alongside the sets, they're going to have a much smaller print run. I guarantee it.
They should, but are they going to? I don't know.
Oh, I'll guarantee it.
If you go look at the most recent Jumpstart, it's still cheap. It's still like $79.
Yes, but that's a whole different thing. That was its own set that had like 6 different prints. They printed that thing into oblivion.
Yeah.
And it's a great one, but there's a lot of it printed to specifically that. When you're printing Jumpstart as an addendum to a set.
And then they took it out back and shot it when it was already dead. They reprinted the Shepherd guy. Like they had one thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what? Jumpstart? Jumpstart has many things.
No, but
there's
I mean,
a lot
like,
of stuff in there than just that.
It mainly had the Shepherd. It was like it's kind of like it's golden pig.
It was the most expensive card in the set in the entire set.
Yeah,
but it still is. I don't know. I haven't looked
It
at
is
the
actually.
price.
I think it's like super low right now. Though.
Sealed.
Is that more than
jump.
Crater Hoof now?
Here, jump stop box.
Well, Crater Hoof 2
Oh, they're up
was
to 89. Ooh.
Yeah,
At
Alistair
any
Shepherd
rate.
still going. Market price 36.55. Crater Hoof is going for 28.
Okay.
So
Where's
Ristic
Bruvac on
Study?
that?
Bruvac is number 4 at 26.67. So
I mean, it's still a great set at the price for,
Yep.
for the set.
you get exquisite blood, Phyrexian Tower. I mean, like there's
Linvala
definitely
is in
cards in
there, I
here that
think.
you'd like,
Ah.
right? They're good, but
Is Ristic Study on that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ristic Studies in
Yeah,
Jumpstart.
Ristic Study. Yeah.
I pulled a Ristic
Like-
Study out of one.
Like it's fan. And the best part is it's not like it's like one general like the packs you're going to get in there aren't going to be the same packs in a different box, right? You're going to get different themes for each thing, and so.
Oh, dude, it's just bravo.
It's a good
Watsy
set. It's
on
exactly
Jumpstart.
right. Exactly. I'll applaud Watsy for this one all day. It was great, and it's
I honestly,
$90 right
thriving-
now. Like you can
It's
go
so
buy it.
thriving land cycles are just amazing.
Oh yeah, with the dog that
I
plane
put
with
them in
the,
my
that
commander
planes
decks.
with the dog. Are you kidding me? Like that thing is going for like $250 right now per plane.
Well, I'm talking about the thriving lands, the ones where it has a color and then you pick the other one
Oh yeah.
for color fixing. I put those in my 3-color commander decks.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't?
Now,
They're
I've
perfect
got
for
a
fixing.
comment on Coach there. I've also got to attribute some really good artwork to the majority of stuff from Double Masters 22. I think almost every single artist did a great job. I think there's only one person that did a terrible job, and everybody really likes it. I think those Richard Kane Ferguson ones
Yes.
look terrible. I
Horrible.
hate them.
Yes.
I'm not a fan, but I also don't like.
happening.
I also don't like whoever did that Chaos Warp. I looked at it and went, "What?"
Now,
It's not that it's bad quality art. It's busy as hell and it looks cluttered. It looks
I don't know
so
what's going on.
Yeah,
Right.
it
Yeah.
looks like a blob.
Yeah.
It
I
does.
mean,
It-
I'm-
Technical. It's
I'm
beautiful
always-
and
Yeah,
art is
I'm always
subjective. It's fine.
optimistic. Right, exactly.
I don't know.
I'm
What
always optimistic for things, but it's not like I'm not going to bash an artist because everybody did that same thing for what
Faithless
was that?
Looting.
Faithless Looting, that's the one. Yeah. So Faithless
Ugh.
Looting, but
He
the
hates
person who did
Faithless Looting.
the person who
God,
did the
I hate that
Faithless
card
Looting
so
art
much.
is the same person who did another art in the Mystical Archives.
Harmonize.
Yeah, Harmonize. And it's like that one was great. So I don't know. It's all just
I'll say this about
perspective,
the
but-
RKF when I first saw them revealed, I was like, "Oh, it's a Rorschach test." Like I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at here, but
Yeah.
good lord,
Like
that's-
Coiling Oracle looks pretty good. It's the less
You can
busy
tell
out
what
of
it
all
is.
of them that I've seen. You know,
No, it doesn't.
Coiling
looks-
Oracle.
you can tell what it
it's
is
the-
at least.
Yeah, it's
looks
the best
fine.
one of the cluster that I know of.
Yes, I agree with that. The Marchesa one, I was like, "What?
Oh
what is
yeah.
that?"
It's
Like a
it's
bunch of-
Grimflayer, right? Grimflayer.
yeah.
is also
It
another one.
just looks super busy. It's hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
Could I
But
do
do you-
anything?
I mean,
you know,
What do you
like
guys
it?
think
No.
about the Chaos Warp? I also looked at that and went, "That just doesn't fit in with."
It doesn't
Like
I
you
think
look
it's
at
cool.
Sensei's Divine.
Oh, is it the one that's all
Divine-
weird looking?
Yeah, it's got like a goblin that's turning into butterflies.
from like a 7th grade art class? That's what it looked like to me. It does.
I have
But-
to figure out which
and then
one.
you-
Is it the
then you have-
showcase?
Then you have the art from like the Vidalcan Orrery extended, the Smothering Tithe extended,
Yeah.
the Imperial Seal extended, the Panharmonicon, Divining Top. Now I do not like the Phyrexian Altar extended. That
Oh,
one
that
was
one.
like, yeah, that
I
looks
think
terrible. I
that's
don't know
a
what
good
that is.
miss as well for me.
That was another Rorschach test. It's like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't much
Who
care
knows
for
what that is?
Cast Warp either.
Yeah, tell me that
It's-
doesn't look like something out of a 7th grade art class or somebody who's doing D&D.
Honestly, I don't know. Like back when I was in 7th grade, I didn't know
Yeah, I
any
couldn't
people who could
draw
draw
like
like
that.
that, like
I
at all.
didn't
So
Better art than that
I
in
was
7th
in
grade. What are you
7th
kidding?
grade. I knew
think
somebody
it's-
in the 11th grade that could draw like this, but he was on like that short bus and went to that small school behind our school.
Yeah, this is not.
I mean-
I'm just not a fan. I like the original art so much better. It was like a rhino charging through a warp.
yeah,
That was pretty baller. This-
I think
My
it's
favorite
gotta-
is the Cast Warp
Right.
alternate, the Japan alternate from Strixhaven. That's my favorite Cast Warp.
Yeah, that one was good. I like that one. I like all the Mystical Archive things too.
I opened 7 boxes of set from Mystical Archives trying to get the Demonic Tutor. Or not
So
Demonic
good.
Tutor. Was it Demonic Tutor?
Yeah, the one with the
Gotta
crazy.
say,
Yeah, the
looking
Japanese alternate
red and
art
white.
one. Yeah, I wanted
Yep.
it so bad.
This
I
cavern
pulled
is so
I pulled a
great.
foil etched for that one in
Oh.
my very first
Honestly,
collected booster box.
my two favorite arts from the Strixhaven Japanese alternate, number one, and it has to overtake the one that I actually bought more of. I love the Dark Ritual. If you know what I'm talking
good.
about, the Dark Ritual
was
from
good,
the
yeah.
Yeah, I've
Strixhaven
got it.
alternate art.
Obviously, I opened enough.
That is just insane. And the second one I think is Divine Gambit
Oh yeah, with the
with the dragons on it.
yeah, it almost looks like it should be like a scroll art or something, right?
It looks like it should be like a tattoo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
When I
can
saw it, I was
see
like, damn, that's sweet.
Very cool.
You should bring those up, Pat.
Yeah, I love that Japanese. I mean, I'm in the midst of trying to collect it all, but I got to finish the dark.
I bought a
first.
whole bunch, and if you haven't already done it, you know, I would say if you want some, I can't imagine that's coming back around. I think that's a
Yeah.
one and done.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
What, the
That
Mystical Archives?
was
Yeah. Well, those with the Japanese, those specific
The
arts, that's
alternates.
it. If you
Right.
like
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
arts, the Time Warp is pretty freaking baller. Is another one that I wanted,
Mhm.
but it was a little more expensive than I wanted to pay. I even like the art on the one crappy card that I got out of a set box I had open on Jake and Joel. It's a terrible opening. It's oh god, what is it? It's one of the mythics. Dude sitting in a chair.
I
Actually,
can't
have
think of it. The
It's a black
counterspell I
card.
like. Counterspell's cool. That's just like a fun.
I honestly not a huge fan of the counter spells. I know a lot of people
Yeah.
were. The Time Warp one was
Mhm.
that was not that the Japanese alternate.
I was super happy
It's
when I
gotta be
pulled
up there.
this.
Tainted Pact.
Hey.
That's what I'm thinking of.
This is a foil full
Yeah, I
art
love that
borderless lightning bolt.
Sick.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
thing,
I
it looks.
had that.
I actually freaked out more than any other card in the set, and it wasn't the most expensive. I was so more excited about a lightning bolt than I was about anything else because it just looks
Tainted
amazing.
Pact. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
with
one that I pulled.
with the little.
I like that art, but I don't.
It's
I
really
mean,
cool.
the card's
Yeah,
crap
that's
for value.
surprising. Yeah, Japanese people don't do a whole lot of skeletons and shit.
But check out
Chaos
my
War.
favorite one. The favorite too. If they're going to be commons and uncommons, I don't know how this is organized. They're going to be way down. Oh,
It's
maybe
my
not.
price.
The Dark Ritual right there, Japanese alternate. You're actually 2 above that. Yeah, that's my
Oh,
favorite art out of the whole set.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks like the like cover art for a manga or something.
You know, I didn't pull one of those. I didn't pull.
I bought like 4 of them that were foil etched because people, for whatever ridiculous reason, value the etched less than the straight basic ones. I don't get it, but okay, cool.
Yeah, I think the etched were just more of a weird guarantee in the slots, and I think that's probably why they were.
Oh, there's
Less?
less of them than
Yeah.
actually the full art foils.
Maybe not.
Really?
Maybe I did. Hold on.
Yeah. That and the if you can find it, it's gonna be way down in like the 50-cent range. Is the Divine Gambit? I want to say it's
Yeah.
Divine Gambit.
And then
It's the one that has
what-
the entwined dragons.
Whirlwind Denial also had a pretty like.
Patch
like
playmatch
special
also
art.
in here. Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one.
strategic planning.
Those are terrible. The Japanese alternates are the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. So cool.
That looks. It just looks like a tattoo.
Hey,
It looks like some dude would have this tattooed on his back, like his
No,
whole
no, no,
back.
no. This looks like it would be on a high schooler's bowling shirt.
Okay.
That's cool. I liked all the Japanese alternate arts from.
I just like
I wouldn't
cards.
say I
I
liked them all. Like
I'm not
the
picky
weird
though.
one for
I think
what was it?
This entire stack is
crop-
Japanese alternates.
Crop rotation
sick.
had a weird one or something.
Although I can't
crop
find. I don't
rotation.
have a dark ritual. That blows my mind.
Cultivate had a very weird one.
I'd have to bust out my binder to find the ones that I have. I have them all.
I was like,
side.
what the hell is that?
Oh, but I have. What was it? Divine Gambit, the tattoo one. I have that.
Yeah, I have all the commons and uncommons. I'm just looking to pick at the rares
Like,
and the mythics now.
That says cultivate to you?
Well, kind of.
I mean,
It's a bit busy.
It's cultivate in Japanese.
It's true.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what they're cultivating.
Yeah. An umbrella? I don't know what the hell that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I have.
There's your play mat, Pat.
Strategic planning.
Well, now I have this awesome Card Kingdom playmat. It's got puppies playing poker. Well, it's actually puppies playing Magic the Gathering. I just like the alliteration.
Isn't that a
I definitely think that people will look back on these Japanese alternate arts.
The whole set.
Oh, I do have a Dark Ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is honestly one of my favorite artworks out of the whole thing, and I play this card a lot.
What a fury!
It's just a fun card, and I'm just a huge fan of this lady. Just going getting more powerful by yelling. It's like every episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Urza's Rage
like
was another one that looked like that, like some guy powering up, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna throw some fireballs, Charles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They're good cards.
there's
It was a
some
big jump.
very good art in all of this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Makes me want to buy more boxes, to be honest.
I literally have it. I have a,
Well, now's the
I have
time, man. I
a
think-
collector's Strixhaven in my closet right now. I should go open.
I just looked and
I-
it was I have an English set box of Strixhaven. That's it. Or Strixhaven? Yep.
Yes.
For
That's
some
the
reason,
one.
well, Strixhaven it's a module in D&D, so I thought I was mixing it up. So I was like, Strixhaven. That sounds nope. That's
Like-
D&D. Wait, nope. It is actually. Never mind. We're good.
Is it a module or a book? I thought it was a book.
It's a module. Trust me.
able to play
I was going to run
as
through
a-
it, and it was horrible. And then luckily our DM was like, "Okay, I'm not enjoying it either." I'm like, "Thank
I love
God."
that one too, right there.
It was horrible.
Revitalize.
It's like Harry Potter is like trying to be smashed with Magic and D&D, and then you're like trying to go through high school, and they want you to like play like you've got a report card, you've got like a love cards with people. It's horrible.
Oh, like a dating sim?
I'm serious. There's literally love points or whatever the hell they're called. It's horrible.
That's why I
You
don't
have,
play
like-
Persona.
And you don't even get to like role play any of it. You don't even get to like use a stats or attributes. You're just like, I want to have relationship points with that player. That's it. You just say it. It just happens. It's so stupid. It's
Jeff.
horrible. Anyways,
Make it so, number one.
Bye, Ed.
All right.
See you
Since
later.
we've successfully derailed our entire topic for tonight. What is
Wait,
it that
we
we
got to
wanted to talk about?
Close to number 2. Sealed product kind of rebounds and prices stabilize.
Yeah.
way
I'll say
faster
that-
than I anticipated.
I'll agree with that. I'm still going to say that there is more room for the single market to drop, right? And it's
Mhm.
fascinating watching the sealed. We're certainly watching it like do this bubbling effect of going up, and as soon as it starts climbing up, then some other paper hands start throwing some more boxes at the lowest
Mhm.
price, and then as soon as it gets up a little bit, then more paper hands start. So it's running into this resistance point where people are cashing in. It's interesting to see. And I guess it's a healthy thing to work through it. But boy, it's working through it fast. I mean, pages of sales per day, right, on
Mhm.
TCG Player.
Wow,
I
there's
looked
a
at
big dip of
eBay.
collectors
Just
right now.
PSA, stay the f away from eBay buying this, because if you put collector box in there, you're going to see exactly what we're talking about with the single packs dominate like the first 3 pages, right? And I'm like, get lost, Timmy. Trying to. That's when I got so irritated. I reported the one guy that was at top, and I'm like, you don't even have anywhere in the description that it's just a single pack. You're just trying to charge $200, and it said 1 sold in the last hour. So I reported him for fraud.
Got him. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
fraud.
correct.
It is when you're
It-
not putting in there that it's a single pack.
I think it's WotC's job to market their product correctly.
I agree. Did you put collector, or did you just put double masters?
Doing double masters, collectors. 139 for a single booster.
Yeah. This one specifically says read the description.
This one's factory collector booster 160 or best offer.
Yeah. This is a single pack.
I mean, 109's not terribly off the range of what they're going to be.
No,
Or
the one that
103,
was
I mean.
$199 for a single pack and did not have the read description.
Hmm.
It just
You-
said
you're on
Magic the Gathering
Amazon.
Double Masters Collector Box. That was it.
Yeah, that even said collector box on it as well. And you know, if you're an
It is a
uninformed,
box.
yeah, it's also not what you're fucking trying to buy. So it's like they put, hey, it's a scam, followed by read the description about this scam. So
It's like
Yeah,
when
I'm
be-
saying. stay
It's like
away
when they were
from
scalping
eBay.
GPUs and people were trying to like cash in on that. They were like selling pictures of GPUs and they were like, read the description. This is
Got
just
'em.
a literal picture, a printout of the GPU.
Are those
Yeah,
people who buy
I-
those Wish GPUs and then try to
Yeah.
sell them as
uh,
the high end product? Oh my god, yeah, no, the internet's dangerous out there, guys. Just
I
be
bought a
cautious.
Wish GPU
Seriously.
just to see. I was just curious. And I got it. And then I told Wish, I'm like, hey, this is clearly not it. And they refunded the money immediately. I'm like, this is clearly not it. So then it was just a paperweight at that point, but it's, it
Mhm.
worked. It was just a fun little experience. I'm a tech guy, so I was just curious what it was. It was
Yeah.
exactly as all the videos say, that it's 100% genuine, that it's not a genuine card, but the videos are
genuine
genuine about them. You will not get what you want. Trust me. You never, ever on Wish.
I wonder if they're doing this shit on Wish too.
Ooh, that's a good point. I
think-
haven't been on Wish in
Wish has
years.
had some issues. Like it's hard to get anything on Wish now. I bought a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff through. I bought all my proxies through Wish.
oh, Matt, go ahead, send me that link to that proxy site. I want to go ahead and get a deck or two printed from that.
Oh man, I can't wait until all the art is uploaded to the proxy site so I can actually like just get all these sick arts from Double Masters for like 20 cents a card. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm gonna have the
Yeah,
sickest
that's what I'm
blinged
saying.
out deck, and I'm gonna try I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna test out their foiling process. They can foil any of the cards, and I did a little bit of research, and from what I can see, their foiling technique apparently is better than WotC's. They don't warp.
Is this from the proxy site or from
From make playing
MPC?
cards. Yeah, make playing cards.
make playing cards?
Yeah, I'll send you the specific link because there's a lot of options you can pick from, and I'll send you both. There's two things you'll need. You'll need the video and you'll need the actual link because the video, it's like a 7-minute video and it tells you how to use the site. But it's a pretty good video.
Interesting.
Yeah, the borders were always the hardest problem for me on MPC.
The borders.
But yeah,
What do you mean?
Yeah, so I'd say that 2022 here has a little bit more legs to it still. I think that honestly, in my opinion, some of the cards are already past their bottom. I think Smothering Tithe is just about as low as it's ever going to be. If anything, most people probably missed their dip a few days ago. Same thing with a couple other cards, Force of Negation, stuff like that. I think we're pretty much on the rebound kind of side. If any big losers are coming up, it's mostly the throwaway cards, stuff under 5, things we're seeing a bit too much. The Golgari Rot Farms, Simic, that kind of stuff. We'll probably see those continue dipping down because they are in practically every pack. But
Yeah.
I think some of the good stuff's there already, and boxes are probably just going to keep going up. And like Bob said, some people that had a supply are going to try and offload them, but it's going to run out pretty fast. There's not a whole lot of this product out there. And as it gets bought up, it just decreases the amount that is out there.
yeah. I mean, I'm surprised at how rapidly the sealed prices dipped and recovered. Like we're understand we're release plus 9 days, 8 days. Sorry,
8.
right?
Yep.
Release plus 8 days, and it's already gone through its dip, and it started recovering like earlier this week. So it dipped for like 3 days.
I will
Normally,
say
if you
in my
look at
video-
the graph, the dips go for like 2 to 3 months, right? Then they start recovering. This one did it in 3 days. So I don't know what's going to happen with the singles market. I don't know how shallow this is. I don't know why the box prices recovered that fast. I don't know. It's a wild ride. I'm glad I got in early.
I think it comes down to quantity. Joey Moss can open as much Kaladesh as he can get his hands on, and he can buy a bunch of it hunting down those inventions, but he can't get any more collector boxes of 2022. There just aren't enough of them. If you want to go ahead and spend $350 for a box, that's I just had Amazon on here. It was what, $369 for a collector box or $95 for a single collector pack. It's like we were saying, just a couple of months out, we were expecting these boxes to be close to 400. Well, shit, sounds like we did a pretty good guesstimation.
They're rising for sure. I mean, that's exactly it. There's master sets are not printed to demand, right? It's a very limited print run as far as things go. And when you have so many people so incredibly upset about Baldur's Gate and people are just wanting something like fresh and fantastic, right? They led right into it, right? They led right into Double Masters 2022, got everybody hyped up for it. And then they were like, all right, cool. Well, like, snag your cases, snag your box prices when you can. And then when they saw everything go up, everybody was like, well, now I got to get into it before it all drops. If they even knew it was going to drop, right? They figured they were just going to get a deal on it. And then it went up and then it went down for 8 days, right? After release. And now we're already back up to the regular pricing, if not a little bit more. Because now collector boxes are going over 300
more. On Amazon, current box price is $384 for a draft box. It came out at $255. It's $130 more.
But because Amazon isn't selling any of their own, and it's all these third-party sellers, all the prices on Amazon are going to be inflated to hell. They're not that price on TCG. They're $308 on TCG for collector's boxes right now. They're actually dipping a little bit right now. It's weird.
Well, no, they've been doing this, and it's not actually $308, right?
It's like $308 and then like $20 shipping, right? Yeah.
Even
so it's actually closer to $320, and that's what all these prices. If you look, because unfortunately they don't put the shipping in the history. I've been watching this very, very closely, and I keep refreshing it, even as we're here on the.
Oh, it's $318 right now
on the stream
for like collectors or
collectors.
I'm going to make a prediction by our next show. These are probably going to be in the 330 to 340 range.
Draft is $345, including shipping.
I'm
just saying. I'm betting the collectors by next week will have gotten past it. I expect there to be a resistance point, right? Even when the supply goes down, that I don't know whether that's going to be at the 300, 400 range, but it'll probably be somewhere around there. Just price memory is very, very strong, with people. Yeah. I could have got those boxes at $225 on Amazon.
Right.
I remember when it was that. I didn't buy them. When Bob told me to go out and buy them.
Well,
but
so
that's up to $400. People are gonna go like, I'm not gonna buy it. But then over time, just like
right now, as people are looking at box prices at these low 300s, is this still a decent time for people to buy?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. 110%. I still think as long as it's under $400, you should be even if you have the money at 400, I think you could buy them, right? Because the only thing that's going to really like vamp this market right now is if everybody who buys a box just decides, I don't want to open anything anymore, right? And then
that's not going to happen.
Exactly, it's not going to happen, and that's the outlier here, right? Is that if everybody collectively who bought Double Masters 2022 was like, I just don't want to open anymore because I know it's going to do well sealed. Like, how many players are really like investors like everybody else? Like, you're going to want to open it to get stuff for your deck, right? And then you have to think about all the other people who are also just playing proxies. I have a whole group of friends that all they do is just play proxies. They're not going to buy any Double Masters 2022, right?
Yeah.
They're just going to proxy the cards. Like, it's not going to matter. They'll if they want to invest, right? They'll buy it. They'll keep it sealed, and they'll just proxy the cards that they want to use. But
I have thousands of dollars in Magic. Like, I've got like $6,000 in singles. If you just count rares above $5, I've got like an inventory. I've got tons of sealed, and over the last over the last year, I've been slowly converting every single deck I have to just proxies. I was just like, I play in my basement with my friends. Why am I investing thousands of dollars in these single cards
Right.
when I could be investing thousands of dollars into these sealed.
Exactly. You change your mindset into it. So
Yeah.
it's going to be the only thing. So.
On Spell Table, I say straightforward, hey guys, I'm playing proxies. These are just printouts from my printer stuck on top of commons in penny sleeves. You cool with this? Price deck is, $300 maximum. If I were to buy these cards for actual cards, set a limit, say straightforward enough, this is what I'm rolling with. You cool with that? Everybody's always cool with it. We're playing fucking Commander. We're hanging out, having a good time.
These are all the
But you know what
proxies.
proxies don't give you?
Woo, boy.
Look at that. I play in a Jake and Joel are Magic's league tournament that they have every month. It's a new deck every month. I'm not buying a new deck every month. So they allow proxies. So I print them out on my printer for a few dollars, and I have a whole new deck that I can play that month.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
But you know what proxies don't give you?
Intrinsic value.
I was gonna say hand jobs, but
Yep.
I don't
That's
think
why
the
they
real
don't
cards
give
do
that
that
either.
either.
I play standard a lot. And
Yeah.
so when I played standard, I mean, the whole reason I buy physical cards is so I can go into, premium tournaments and go and play in those tournaments, right? The only commander I play is, I play commander with my girlfriend when she wants to play every now and again. But like, for the most part, it's just, I don't even have a group to play commander. And if I did, everybody in said group, the people I know who play commander, play proxies. So why would I do that? I would rather just, do that. But if I'm going to go into a standard tournament or like a pioneer tournament or something along the lines at an LGS, I mean, obviously you need to not have proxies. And so from a competitive aspect, that's why I enjoy it. But then you can just play arena. And that's a whole different other topic that we can
It depends on
into,
where you play, actually. The local store near me, their modern tournaments and their legacy, they allow, and vintage, they allow their proxies.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. There you go. Well, I mean, I didn't know whether or not that was a thing they could do. Because isn't it like those like official tournament points that you essentially win compared to...
Maybe it's not. Maybe the tournaments that I'm talking. I mean, I don't know. I just looked on their Facebook, and they advertise proxy friendly. So I don't know if that's maybe
yeah. Because I mean, there are certain ones that like because they're like championships that some stores run and so on and so forth.
I can't imagine like,
those
the
numbers
tournaments. I'm talking about like every Friday modern.
Yeah,
which
casual dick around with your friends. Like that's
this brings up a very good point, as to why a lot of people say, well, why do we need the pro tour? Why do we need the tours? Well, you need it for these very reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And you need to
value of the card.
And I'll put it plainly and simply. I believe if there's no secondary market, this game dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You print everything out. Like what?
The more proxies that get printed out there, the more essentially hurts the secondary market. To whatever degree it hurts the secondary market. So as we're doing this, we're voluntarily destroying the game that we love playing. Right? So I proxy to some extent. I bought the Chinese proxies for a lot of my dual lands because I don't want to keep rifling them in and out of decks and trashing my cards. But I do it to a limited extent. I don't play tournaments. I as Matt pointed out so definitely, I'm more into the financial and investing part of Magic at this point. I rarely play. I don't have enough time really. There's so many videos I'm behind on. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But careful out there, all of you, that you proxy too much, the game won't exist.
Right.
I can tell you that. If everything was just a proxy, this game won't exist. It'll be niche. It won't exist anywhere near the form that it is today. Even dead games that they create new cards for, like Lord of the Rings and whatnot, they're dead games. If 1,000 people are playing it, it's dead, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's functionally dead. When the company that makes it stops making new sets, it died.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want out of Magic, then proxy to your heart's content. It's a business, people.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to make money. It's got to be solvent.
Yep, it's the whole.
And
thing,
I'll be honest with you, the thing that's been bothering me since my return a couple of years ago is it feels very much like, I keep bringing up that analogy from Blade Runner about, the candle that burns twice as bright only burns half as long. And it seems like they're, burning it 3 times, 4 times as bright, trying to squeeze out as much juice as possible. like the double feature garbage. And it just, with printing sets so rapidly that during like release week, you're already previewing cards for the next set. I mean, wow, that was a little shocking. Like, I don't even know what all the cards are in Commander Legends Baldur's Gate, and I'm already looking at the cards that are coming out in Double Masters. It's
There's a lot.
I don't know. It feels like they're trying to squeeze the lemon really, really hard to get as much possible juice out of it as they can.
I think spacing it out would have been a lot better. I think even if they waited to do like a Double Masters 2022 until next year, in like a better like moment,
MTG 30th,
then right, yeah, like could have done something in regards to that. But man, you just there's so much. I mean, it just these, and that's people got wallet fatigue, and people who have wallet fatigue don't want to buy singles. They don't want to buy boxes. They're just we can't do it. Like
once the wallet fatigue sets in, it's a strange thing. It's pretty much shutting off the tap entirely. Instead of dripping things in with your budget that you had every few weeks to go get packs or boxes or whatever you get, now you're like, oh, just like it's kind of what I'm doing now. It's almost like an accordion effect. I bought almost nothing of Crimson Vow, Midnight Hunt. I didn't buy any double feature. Kamigawa bought very, very little. Streets of New Capenna, very, very little. No Baldur's Gate. A shit ton of Double Masters 2022, right? So that's the buying patterns that they're forcing onto the market. That these sets that, like, why invest $5,000 in all those other sets, or let's say 2,500, and you divide that up across what, 6 sets? That's not that much. That's like 400, right? That's like one collector box and one set box, right? If I had done that for each of those, I would have had to get rid of half of what I have here. And why? Half of what I have here is worth twice or 3 times what all the rest of that would have been put together. So they're kind of training us to get into this hold on for the value. Like the other people out there, I can't understand it. It's like, your credit card bills must suck, and especially in a downturned economy. I don't know how you guys are doing it, because I do all right, but like I'm kind of watching my pennies now, and you got to shop much more wisely. You cannot. They successfully killed set collecting. I can say that much. Like, that used to be, I don't know how long you been in, Alex.
I've been playing since I guess technically it's been about like 3 years, but I've been on and off since World Wake. So
back in the day, and most prevalently, I can recall this, like starting around Tempest and Mirage and Stronghold, set collecting was strong back then, and it created a healthy trading market, even for your jank rares or whatever in the set, gave it some real value, whether it was a basic land or a bullshit rare because there were no mythics. It had some inherent value, because most people were trying to collect play sets. You wanted 4 of every set was the goal. And that was a very strong part of Magic. And you'd get some rare, and some dude's like, oh, hey, I need that. I'm willing to trade blah, blah, blah for that. That was a big part of Magic back in the day. That was very healthy. Nowadays, what do you even do with jank or bulk or whatever? You're like, Pat sends it into Card Kingdom, and most other people just
wrong. You hold it, you sit on it until it skyrockets in value because some new card broke it.
Right. What the frick? I literally just look at this. Right? Remember this, guys? Ledger Shredder?
Yeah, what a crap card.
What was this when it came out? Like 50 cents or something? And it's like $19 right now.
Speaking of New Capenna, I found set boxes.
You're cherry picking. Because
for sure.
Most Rudy said 95%+ of all cards printed in Magic are worthless.
Yeah. No, they will. And
literally
they will.
Worthless.
They
would not
are
be
worthless.
a penny for them.
95%.
Get them, and so that you can think of that, overlay that on every set that comes out, that 95% of every set is worthless. Right? They didn't used to be worthless. Like, every card had some inherent worth because you would trade it to complete somebody's sets. But they have killed that. They've killed it with the speed at which they're releasing product. They killed it with the variance that they put into it. They said the hell with set collecting. It's confusing as shit to try to collect a set now.
Yeah,
Try to
with all
put
the
your
different
binder
rarities
together.
or qualities.
Showcased, foil etched, non-foil etched.
Oh, please don't. It causes my eyes to twitch.
Borderless.
You know, it's funny though. I
semi-borderless.
actually,
Oh, God.
believe it or not, and I don't know whether or not
Japanese
this is just
borderless.
inherent. I don't know whether or not this is just inherent, but I am a set collector still. I mean, I know that 95% of stuff is bulk. That just means that I get 95% of a set.
Makes it a
real
hell of a ton
quick,
easier to collect the set.
right? And so it's definitely easier. But I'm not starting by by doing like Zendikar Rising.
Do you collect
Yeah,
it
no.
yourself through the hard work, or do you just go on like Card Kingdom and hit buy set?
No, no, I don't buy set. I mean, like I look for any deals I can possibly get on the cards, specifically like the 5% that are actually worth anything. But for the most part, I mean, a lot of it is just I like the idea behind master sets too. So like collecting the commander precons that come with each set, and then those cards also specifically being in there. Like I don't know, it's a weird thing in my head. I just like collecting them. But
When you're collecting your sets, though, what does that mean for you? Are you collecting every variant in the set and the foil of every variant in the set?
Yes.
Wow,
he's old school.
And it's a lot. Well, that's what I mean, right? It's a lot. Right now, I mean, I've said it, I think, a couple times. I'm collecting the Dark right now. I'm in the process of collecting a play set of every card from the Dark. And I think that's where I want to start. And I want to build up from there instead, because like I can't touch Legends or Antiquities or Arabian Nights. Anything before that, maybe, we can do revised, maybe, but not really. Like the Dark is affordable for me, and I can move forward from there. But I want to start at least collecting the base sets of stuff first, and then if the foils end up working out, that I can get some good deals on them or something of the sort. Because I mean, if you've even seen the pricing of any of the Urza's foilings,
ridiculous.
Any of those stuff, oh my god, it's really expensive. But that doesn't mean that I don't want them, right? Like I would like to have. Am I going to be able to collect an entire play set of those ones? Probably not, unless like somebody has an inheritance that they want to give to some random content creator, and they're just like, oh hey, here you go. Here's all of our cards.
You realize the Urza's Legacy foil set, you're looking at over 10 grand.
Yeah. Oh, I'm well aware of the price. Yeah, for sure. But it's an overtime thing. I'm not. I by no means
not an overtime thing. The availability of most of those cards are just not going to be there.
Right. And if it and if it happens, right, if I die and I'm missing
I was talking about the
cards
new set. Like Commander Legends. I mean, if you're going to get every card out of that set, including the foil variants and the etched foil variants of all of that, you're probably going to have to shell out in the ballpark of about $5,000.
Yeah, they're definitely still expensive getting because just the Ancient Copper Dragon alone and all of its foil variants?
No, I'm talking about Commander Legends 1. Forget about it.
Oh, 1. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine Right Jeweled Lotus in all of its variants is probably over almost $1,000, right? Right around there.
Definitely over $1,000
for just those cards. And so, it's a pipe dream, but I want it, right? And I know that at least with the sets that are coming out now,
I'm just saying that they've successfully killed it. It's not part of the community anymore.
Yeah, it's fine, right? And at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's whatever people want to do with their with their cardboard, but I definitely, for some reason,
and I hear people saying I'm collecting a set, but only the base set, not the foils, not the variant. Like you're getting qualifications to collecting sets, whereas back in the day, you just collected a set.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, back then, right? It was just base set, right? That was it, right? It was just there was no foils, no mythics, no.
So you're gonna get one of each of the neon ink Hitagetsus too.
I mean, like
I was going to ask if you like.
I'd like to.
Oh, what's going to happen when you get to Japanese War of the Spark? Because you're probably going to have to drop 20 to 30 grand to get those.
It's expensive, right? I have no doubt that it is going to be expensive. At some point in my life, I'd like to start doing stuff like that, but that's why I'm starting with the Dark, which is significantly more reasonable.
I'm just busting your balls. I'm giving you a hard time, Alex.
Yeah, no, dude, you're good. I'm just kind of just letting you know, like that's I don't know. It's something deep down in my mind, but I also know that's what I mean, 28 years of Magic that I'm trying to collect. Like, I'm insane. I'm literally crazy. You guys can tell me I'm insane. But I think if I started with the base set, I'd be okay with it, and then whatever my money gets into as the time goes on, I wouldn't be against starting to do that. But I would start
deck stocks.
What's that?
I would say you'd probably be wiser putting. I mean, because by the time you're talking everything to collect everything, you're going to need a couple $1 million.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's my money right now is going into more important things than Magic.
I would advise
because
that you at least have a solid 401, max out your 401k, max out your Roth.
Yeah,
at a minimum. If you have a HSA, max that out first, then maybe start throwing.
Yeah, I am by no means like this is what my like. I am in no position to start buying Magic cards on a regular basis like that, like at all. But that's why anything that I make is going into higher investments to
unless you guys
financially stable and so on and so forth.
Below, then you can help us and him out. Just go ahead and smash that send button.
Oh, and by the way, go subscribe to Mr. ashenwingz TCG. He's new. He needs some more sub. Let's help him along. Spread the word.
Anything can help. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the community and getting your head out there. And it looks like you put out content pretty consistently. That's one thing Matt and I royally suck at. He's better at it than I am, but we're both bad at it because we both kind of just want to do our own thing and put it out when we feel like it.
Yeah, they don't like that much.
Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe down below for further content. Click that bell so you can be notified when we go live.
I never tell anybody to click the bell because the bell can go fuck itself.
I'm just not used to it. Yeah.
No, I just don't like the bell. The bell, first of all, it sounds retarded. Like, go click the bell and ring the bell. I don't know. I hate it. I hate the whole bell thing. I don't bell not a single person do I have belled ever. It never will happen.
So you know what I do have a question.
To my subscriptions and I look at what I want to watch. That's it. It's very simple.
I do have a question for you guys, and I have an answer for my own question too. But we should probably get this going before too long here. Since we've already talked about the dip, and I don't think this is a dead cat bounce like I'm hearing some people say. Neither. But what cards are you guys already starting to look at singles for Double Masters 2022? Do you guys have anything that you're looking at very specifically? Cavern of Souls is high on my list. It's my top card, actually. And then Phyrexian Altar. Probably going to be placing an order here within the next week. But what cards are you guys looking at? Are there any specific cards that you guys want to buy now?
I'm looking actually to get Darksteel Plate foil. I think this is probably going to be the cheapest time we're going to see that. It's under $10. The original version is at $13 and holding pretty strong. And to get a foil version under $10 seems like a great buy to me. I could also use Smothering Tithe in a couple of decks, not just present, but upcoming. So I'd like to get in at them because, like I said before, I think we're just about as low as they're going to be, especially with that gorgeous artwork.
Which card?
Yeah.
Oh, I so misread that comment there, Cryptic Commander.
I was wondering what you were laughing at.
When I caught it out of the corner of my eye, it says, "I'm looking at that Muff Diver."
Oh, waiting for that Muff Diver secret lair.
Mole Drifter.
Oh gotcha. Man,
that's a totally different expense.
Very different card.
I wouldn't mind buying some of the full art. I hate borderless full art. They're the same freaking thing to me. But like the Burning Tree Emissary foil full art, if they're like $1, I'll maybe buy them. But I'll probably just proxy everything else. I'm not buying an Imperial Seal. I'm not buying.
Hold on, going back to this whole Muff Diver thing. Now that we just recently had Bear's Gate Secret Lair, are we ever going to see like a super lesbian version of cards too? I want to see some equality.
Secret Lair? What are we talking about?
Oh, I'd love to see like
Secret Lairs.
Pride of Multiverse.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Oh, see, that's what we got to do for Bob's next tag. Tune in next week to see what Bob chooses as his tag.
Oh man. Well, Bob, to answer your question, I don't know. I like the foil etch damnation. I think it just looks really good. And for $35-ish, I'd like to pick at least one up. But I think most of my stuff is probably going to go to borderless commons and uncommons.
Wow.
And even some of the new cards that have been introduced into Pauper. I'm just aware that I would like to say that I cater to mostly a budget audience, and I know not a lot of people who are competitive players love bounce lands, but they are good, like I guess like stand-ins for some stuff. And
true. For budget, they're great.
Exactly. And so for people who are looking to like upgrade their pre-con commander deck that has a rot farm in it, and they're like, oh cool, I can get this in borderless,
and they look beautiful
for like
a couple
$2, right?
Couple bucks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so exactly that's it, right?
With them, boy, I get irritated at them in the precons, and it's the first card that I cut out. I'd rather have.
I've got a thing better, Cryptic. Okay, I'll be honest.
Bounce back my hand.
I want to see 2 years from now, Triple Masters 2024, where they put in tri-lands, but they don't come in tapped.
Yeah, see, I don't play any tapped lands except for the tri-lands. Literally, the only ones I ever play nowadays is that's it. I can't.
I'm a big fan of these bounce lands. I don't know why. It's kind of cool. It makes me feel like I'm a little bit ahead.
I'll be honest too. If you play landfall deck,
I'll be honest with you.
In the landfall deck.
I think the cards that they need to come up with in a commander set is the same exact, battle bonds, commander legend 1 lands, but put the freaking land types on them so they're fetchable.
I think that's a big thing, right? Is that their land types are not like that's a more appealing thing, I think, to most people as far as a land is the.
They'll say, then it's no different than an OG dual land. Yes, it is, because it still says you got to have 2 or more opponents. So get back, suck it.
Yep, it's still different.
They can do a tri-land where you have to pay 3 life, or it comes into play tapped.
Sure,
that is fetchable. So you have to pay 4 life when you fetch it.
Honestly, I don't even mind. I don't mind.
It's terrible, guys.
There's actually in there what they call the bicycle lands, the ones that their dual lands come in tapped and are cyclable. Yeah, but they don't have the full set of 10. I think there's only 5. I was looking through, like it's amazing if you take the time and go do research on like what's actually out there. There's so much shit that's out there. I've been in Magic a long time, and there's still shit. I'm like, whoa, what is that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that existed.
It's a lot. There's a lot of content. I mean, there's so many cards. I've looked back into stuff like I didn't know what I thought I knew a lot about, like studying the sets and everything. And then I came across a Nemesis card, and I was like, what is even that? And like, I've never seen that symbol before. And I, for some reason, thought it was a fake thing. And I was like, well, I got to look now. And so now, now it's all about learning about every single thing and trying to go into every set. But there's a lot. 30 years of Magic has been printed these times, and
I thought I knew
it's
most
not all
of
reprints.
Thought I knew most of them, but there's
speaking of confetti, another Everquill Phoenix to go down the drain.
I literally just put that in a bin somewhere.
I have a bunch of them. I like the full art ones, the full art auto or the alternate.
Yeah, the showcase ones.
They kind of remind me of the arcade.
So good.
Full art ones remind me of RKF. Yeah, there you go.
Don't worry.
Dude, Showcase Everquill. The core showcases are to die for. I love them. I'm a sucker for.
I would say, honestly, cards that I think are super low now. Feels like they're about at the bottom so far. Logic tells me that we've got a couple of weeks that we're still going to see single prices dropping. They should theoretically, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And Phyrexian Altar. Realize that thing gets up to $100. It's going to bounce back, no doubt. That's in too many decks. I want it in a bunch of decks. Clearly, I was way off base and smoking some shit when I was talking about the Cavern of Souls, because that thing already rebounded. and it's $10 higher than it was last week.
Yeah, I told you it's there's something going on with that card. Somebody's
I don't know,
controlling
man.
it. There's like
The
a group
Cookie
of people that are
Monster's
like,
eating it
do
up.
not let this card go below $50. The moment it starts creeping down, it's like it skyrockets.
Looks like we're going to be
every
wrong
time.
about Smothering Tide that seems to be holding strong at
Oh,
that
yeah.
$22, $23 mark.
I still think that'll dip a little bit more.
I see. That's what logic says, but they're just not, right?
I'm not
They should
seeing
be
it.
dipping now, but they're not.
Oh, wait,
I'll tell you
Ashen,
what did dip low was Panharmonicon.
never
like-
mind. I'll hit you up outside.
Okay.
I'm just setting up some cards.
Oh, thanks. That's very sweet of you.
Panharmonicon is one that you should be looking at. That has way too many uses and way too many decks.
That's a good
It's
point.
beautiful. It's a beautiful.
That
card.
thing's gonna recover. Aether Vial is way too low. I don't know why I'm giving you guys all this because I want to go snag these cards before they start going back up.
Put them in your cart right now, Bob.
Because there's only 3 people watching, and ideally, none of us are gonna. Even if we all went and bought them, we still wouldn't touch the market. I think
Bloom
that's probably
Tender is another good
Bloom
one.
Tender's
It's the
pretty
one
good.
card I pulled. Bitter Blossom didn't get nearly as low as I thought it would. I thought it would get down around $10 to $15. And that's holding strong above $20.
I think the real question is, when do you think they're going to reprint Allosaurus Shepherd again?
No, they better
They
not
just-
because
they just
it
did.
already showed it cannot handle it.
Right.
It was already dropping hard in price, just because of the reprints of
Mhm.
Jumpstart. That thing was strong at $100, $110 for a long time. Even before the announcement of the reprint, that thing
Right.
dropped down to like $58,
It dropped pretty hard.
like cut in half. So clearly it's, whatever. I don't think it's super duper great. It's a good card in an elf deck. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's not
Right.
a card.
There's
that
not
I'm-
much else in regards to that.
Whatever. I think Craterhoof Behemoth is a far bigger card in the scheme of things for Commander. It's the win con for so many more decks.
And Bruvek too. Bruvek is
I think
crazy.
Concordant Crossroads being printed again is pretty fun. I've got a couple of green decks, and I recently played against what the shit was it? A Braids deck where we could all put out some stuff for free. And boy, turn 2 Ulamog was nice and fun, dumb. Just all sorts of shenanigans there. And I think, that little bit of ramp is fun to get into more Magic games.
I think Ulamog and Kozilek are both must grabs when they're low here because there's so many decks that use those. And they're the great big dumb I win the game cards. You need a lot of that, but I'll say Flicker Wisp is used in a shitload of decks.
Mhm.
And that's a blink special there. So 4 of in that Joker is going to be good. Your Monastery Swift Spears, you wanted them cheap, you got it. Holy crap, they're in every single pack. Blood Artist, that's holding strong even for common. That thing's been holding like right around that $1.50, $2 mark the whole time, which is surprising to me.
Too.
Or was it Blood Artist? Yeah, Blood Art. Didn't they print that at common? Or is that uncommon?
It's uncommon.
But that thing's holding strong. The whatever the other one that you could have as many as you want in there. I keep forgetting.
This one had uncommon.
Apostle
Shadowborn Apostle.
Shadowborn Apostles. Those are holding strong at common. Then that's one you buy as many as you want to get your hands on because you can put it,
Yeah,
technically
shitload.
99 of them in a deck.
And on top of that, you also can get a Thrumming Stone out of this deck too.
Oh, Thrumming Stone's another one. Yeah, holy crap,
Yep.
that one
Huge.
drop.
Yeah.
Huge. Like that's $4.
Yeah,
It
but
makes
who plays that card? Is that card
People
ever
that
gonna sit
play
anywhere?
the Shadowborn Apostles, the Persistent
Right.
Petitioners, the
Relentless Rats.
Dragon's Approach.
Yeah,
Who
Rats,
plays
Rats is a great thing.
yeah,
Relentless Rats. My buddy played that deck back in Standard.
it's fun.
That was
It-
funny.
Shit, I just had another one. When you said Throwing Stone, there was another one.
27 come out in a turn. That shit's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. It's nasty. I mean, there's a lot of cards. You got to think about the popular. If people are starting to get into it, like they're probably not thinking like, oh, I'm going to make my 3-color, Jund, sacrifice treasure nonsense. I think most
What
people who get
art
into
is
it
that?
start off with their basic stuff, and they're just like, oh yeah, we'll just kind of go with a tribal theme, or we'll go with something simple and goblins or something, or rats, and Even though rats is still pretty expensive for being a beginner kind of concept, but
Yeah.
I'll say there's other cards out there for you Commander players that you should be looking at. A lot of the Commander cards that they reprinted, like Rurik Thar, think like there's some kind of twins that are out there. You've got Animar, which is just a house. I mean, if you want to play the no fun Commander decks, you've got
It's my favorite deck
Muldrotha.
now.
What's that?
My Animar deck is my favorite deck now. Ever since I switched,
It's
I used
degenerate.
to use I used to use Averna as my commander for my Cascade deck, and then I came across Animar just randomly one day. I'm like, wait, this guy's absolutely insane. Why isn't he my commander instead of Averna?
You got
And then I switched.
Doran's
I'm like,
another.
"Oh,
Doran's another one that's, like just good time commander, big butt, wall decks kind of commander. There's just so many of them. I would be looking at it right now. I mean, you got some of these cards that are down around like a couple of bucks that, only had printings in commander decks.
what's that one Boros card? I think those are the twins you're talking about. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, don't lose sight of those because there's lots of flash in this, but there's a lot of utility, a lot of like, sort of, I don't want to call them staples, but sort of key commander type cards if you want to expand your repertoire and, build bigger commander decks. They printed a whole bunch of those in this. Don't lose sight of that.
Hydroid Crassus came out in this.
yeah."
That was a crazy thing.
Dude, there's lots of craziness in this. Like,
Yeah.
it's just this set is just absurd. That's why I can't crack it. It's just
Fire
I'm
Song.
gonna have to target singles.
For you, Bob.
Well, I want to have fun with it too. Believe me.
Yeah, I want to open the boxes.
That's why it's
behind me,
still
but I'm
sitting
just like,
right here, and I can touch it because I want to touch it, but I can't open it.
I can touch it.
Yeah. It's I got to put that force field on the stop tapes, and I've got like 9-10 boxes of Modern Horizons 2 that when I get a little smash sitting on the couch watching some bullshit movie and bored, and I'm like, man, I could go down and grab a box of Modern Horizons 2 and just crack that shit. Nobody would know.
No one would know.
No one would know but your wallet.
And then I go downstairs and I look at it and I go, no, I don't feel like losing money. And this set is just wow. But singles, folks, that was sort of the point of this little part of our speech was target them now. I believe that I was wrong with the time frame. I did say I felt it was going to be compressed. I didn't think it would be ultra compressed like this. I mean, the time scales that we're talking about here, we've never seen this in Magic. Never. Everything is happening, but it's happening like now. It's like, oh, crap. That went fast. That escalated quickly.
I'll tell you exactly the cards I'm targeting in Double Masters. The proxied versions.
Da-na-na.
I'm sharing my
there's a
screen.
lot of-
I want you to
I know a lot of people who are also like they play
Look at
Muldrotha
this.
in Commander, and that even the borderless version is only like $13 right now.
You can go through here. You can pick your favorite art. There's people that have made all kinds of crazy arts for all kinds of different cards. You can be your special snowflake and have a card nobody's ever even seen before. Or you can be like, you know what? I just really like the modern Double Masters.
You know what my favorite Muldrifter is?
Look at that. These cards don't even look like Magic. What's your favorite Muldrifter? Is it in here?
Yeah.
Is it this one? This
You
watercolor?
stop.
This
No.
I don't know which
Nope.
one's real and what's not sometimes.
The Extra
one-
Life, not the one drawn by the kid, but the one that the artist did. The adaptation is down. That row.
This one?
So
Yeah,
that was drawn by a child. That's from children that like need
Mm-hmm.
surgeries and shit. And then they gave that art to a MTG artist. And if you click on the one next to it, that's the artist adaptation of that child picture.
Oh, I see.
And
Yeah,
I
the
love
Secret
that
Lair one.
version. I don't know if you can blow that up. It's just
It's
what a
so
happy
funny.
looking card.
It's great. Look at him. Look at him.
With
Just
eyes
It
hanging out.
reminds me of
off
Finding
that.
Nemo. Like it's a straight out of
It
Finding
does.
Nemo.
It's just tell me that's not a happy looking card. Tell me it doesn't make you a little happy just looking at it.
Yeah, I like it. I thought you were
And
about to
knowing
tell
the
me.
story behind it.
I
just
thought you were
makes
about
that
to
one-
tell me that you liked
need to
this
buy it.
version.
Well,
So,
so-
I was like,
so-
oh.
So it's funny because I think that version is hilarious, and I'd run that Muldrother.
This one?
Yeah, absolutely. Like unironically, I think it's hilarious, and I would just
Everyone has
Well,
to
you have to look at the whole. You have to look at the whole set. They were drawn by little children, and
Yeah.
they
Because
had
I'm
art.
a D&D guy, I like these. There's been a lot of these cards that have been like D&D styled. I feel like this is what the D&D card should have been. Like the D&D
if
style,
that-
the showcase.
If
That'd
that
be
was
cool.
the showcase instead of the stupid rulebook art
Yeah, I could
they
work.
did have, I would love it.
Yeah, they had it was what was it? Not Ragavan, but the other guy.
Dockside?
Dockside Extortionist. How you spell extortionist? There you
T,
go.
not S.
Close enough. That's not what I wanted to click. So
Hurry
they
up.
had a D&D style. This guy, I like this one. This one's just, it's just, I feel like this just looks great for.
It does.
It could have
Mhm.
been the D&D style, like for sure.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
why they
way
wouldn't
more
do something
D&D
like that.
like than any other D&D that they did.
Yes. Yes, agreed. 100%.
And I don't.
And I'll be honest.
hate
I'll be honest with you. I love
the
the
showcase.
module art that they did on the lands.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
nailed it.
What's one
But
of the lands?
the rule book art, even though it definitely feels D&D, it feels like shitty D&D.
What's one of the lands
sort of like-
names?
Like back in the day, like I'm old enough to remember opening up the OG books. And I remember buying my first player's handbook because like they gave us a list of things we had to go out and buy, and the thing we had to have was a player's handbook. And I remember looking at the art on the shelf at Toys R Us. It's where I got my first book. And I brought it home and I opened it up and I'm like, but that art doesn't look anything like the cover. It looks terrible on the inside.
That's how they
You're
get
like, look
you.
at that. That looks sick.
So they
I love it.
captured that shitty art feel. Yeah, that looks baller.
Yeah. Some of them they had, I forget which one it was. I think it was the red green one. Is there a red green one? Maybe not. There was one where they had the background. Oh, I think they actually
There is
it was
a
just
red green one. What are you talking about for commanders?
Yeah, what's it called?
That came out of Battle Bonds. It's Gruul Turf.
That's right.
I'd also like to say I'd like to pick up a lot of these foil etched cards from Double Masters 2022 also.
Oh yeah. What's your
Like
favorite
a lot
foil
of
etched? Which one do you think looks better in foil etched than the full
I
art?
have it.
Damnation for sure. Damnation I think looks better.
No, it's not Gruul Turf. That's the bounce. Sorry, it's
else?
I'll say that's not right.
Ooh, the Phyrexian Altar looks better in foil etched than it does in the
Agreed.
regular or in the extended.
agreed.
It's just got a real tasty look to it.
Oh, Spire Garden.
Is that what it is? Spire Garden?
I think so.
Well, I'm assuming at that point, Pat, that means that you like the Dragon Lord Jamoka foil etched instead of the RKF full borderless Dragon Lord
Yeah,
Jamoka.
There it is.
Sucks.
This even has like the map of a grid mapped style background for
Yeah,
the
that's
land.
cute.
Yeah,
Like-
I love this site is the best because it has all kinds of alternate arts that you would never even see in Magic. And I think the only downside I've seen from like friends is I said they whenever you use like these crazy alternate arts that you can't tell what it is from across the table, you have to actually like look at it. So I could see that being a little annoying if you're playing with a group of friends and everybody's playing with like fucking this, and you're like, what the hell? What is that from across the table? You're not gonna know what the hell this is.
I also
Right.
say, hey, I'm playing a fucking Dockside Extortionist. I'm playing,
Well, yeah, you're supposed to.
for turn. I'm
You
playing
you just play this card.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this?
That looks like something that would come out of a secret lair. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do they have beta on here? Do they have this? I assume goes directly to fill MPC.
Any NPC autofill or NPC fill is a bunch of Google Docs, Google Drives that people upload their own art to, and it kind of pulls from it. So it's whatever is on people's Google Drives. So I guess I don't know if this is the beta one. I don't know.
Can you check for like to see if anybody has the OG beta lands like swamps and I don't know.
Yeah, I can do that. Swamp.
Did anybody have? Can you search by like beta, or you just have to scroll through it?
You typically have to scroll through, but I mean it's whiteboarded, right? Or are you talking about like
No, it's blackboarded.
Oh, then I know. There's all
Alpha
kinds.
and beta are blackboarded.
That's better layout.
Is there a way to like?
That's okay. We could discuss this later. I don't want to take too much time.
Maybe a fun little side project to go through and find some crazy altars.
Yeah,
There's
it's definitely
all kinds of amazing. This has 566 swamps. Like if you can't find
Yeah,
a
that
swamp
might
you
take a little bit
love
of
and
time.
dig, you know.
wow. Or
Me
just get
personally, so they just released their secret lair with the lands in
Oh, dude, that swamp's badass.
there's just a bunch of lands for like the astrology. I think that's what they're called, the astrology lands.
Oh, dude.
The astrology ones.
If they would just price them reasonably, it'd be
It's
fine.
a waste of money.
It's
Exactly.
so many monies for just
Do you
basic
even
lands.
like the art on those astrology lands, though?
No, but I'm just saying that like
God,
any of
terrible.
them,
So
any of
that's-
the secret lairs, if they were
right
just
there
priced
for that
reasonably.
swamp. Like I'm down with that swamp. You've got second in where it
The
looks like
retro.
those, 80s
Retro
retro
gamey swamp.
wave.
Looks like
that
a Tron
cool.
land.
Yeah.
From the movie
I'm not-
Tron.
You can get the
$10
Neon
$5.
Dynasty ones.
Oh, you can get the Godzilla one.
You can get
Yeah.
all like there's just
I like the
Swamp.
one that just says swamp and big
The
letters.
the bat.
Swamp.
You got more of these retro extendeds you can get. Get some like weird looking. What are those? Crimson
You know, for a
Vow
couple of
bordered.
pennies, too. That's the thing.
Yeah, you can get these cards printed out for literal pennies. Like it's and they're good quality. Like it's not like it's like some of the proxy cards that I've bought from like Wish or whatever. They're super glossy. They look like crap. But the thing that
sticky.
makes it, I guess, not legal, but the thing that makes it good is that they won't print the NPC or make playing cards won't print the backing of Magic cards. Like basically right here, you pick your back, you pick your card back. You can pick any card. Like there's a bunch of different card backs, and they actually won't even print this. My buddy tried to print this Proxy the Gathering. They said that it was too close to the Magic the Gathering backing, so they wouldn't even print it. So you just kind of go through and you can print like whatever. But a lot of
You
people
can't
use
just
this.
pick another card to put on the other side.
You can do that if you want. Yeah, it's a little annoying though, because basically what you have to do is if you want to do like a modal card, basically, you have to pick the specific row and like you have to pick whatever number card it is. So if card 52 in the grid is the card that you want as modal, you have to basically pick every single individual backing of every other card if you do that. Otherwise, you can just use one back for all the backs. But you can individually pick the backs of, so you can print like one deck on one side and another deck on another side if that's what you wanted to do.
It
But
almost sounds like
Well, I was just thinking for lands, like swamp on one side, forest on the other.
yeah, you can do that. You'd have to individually pick one by one the backings of every single card you do, as opposed to just having.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards on the back.
You want it to be. You could do this, and you could do Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, there was one up there that looked enough
I want
like
to put flesh and blood on the back of my Magic cards.
Yeah.
Really screw with people and use clear sleeves. Oh, look at that! Like I love them. I love this site. Some of the art that people put.
What do they have for dual lands? Because that's the one that they
have some really.
I have
good
no
ones.
shame in proxying, but I've seen some dual lands that are just gorgeous.
A good Badlands.
Do you have a favorite?
Underground Sea.
Under the ground sea.
So they've got some, looks like expedition style. They've got some like older school styles. They've got some really cool full arts. The ones that I use,
Wow, that one looks like the beta.
yeah, some of them are pretty close.
No, the one up, the one that was up 2 on the right. That
This one?
literally looks like
Yeah,
alpha beta.
some of them are the exact, image that people have did like a high res scan. Ooh, this one looks pretty sweet. It's kind of like faded and like
Yeah. It looks like an underground sea.
yeah. I use the expedition ones a lot for mine. They've even got the underground sea for this. They've got some weird looking module.
That's
type
the module.
Oh,
and
the module
Pirates,
one.
Pirates of the Underground Sea, adventure for characters level 15 through 20.
Oh wow,
These look pretty good. I like those. These like some old school pixel art type deals.
there you go, Pat.
That's the kind of stuff as like just an art collector that I would get some of these just to like have as cool pieces
I like
of
these. I use these a lot.
I've actually commissioned some stuff in poster form from people before, and it's just great to see stuff like this. This is friggin' awesome artwork. I love this. I'm gonna spend. This is one of my favorite things about Magic is the contribution that people make in it. Not just people that are designing cards like Gavin Vierhay and the other people there behind the scenes in WotC, but people that are going ahead and creating the artwork like this. You know, it's really cool to see the different art styles that people are bringing to it. The ones I don't like, hey, I don't like them. Maybe other people do. Yeah. Stuff like the Zendikar Rising showcase ones that they did. I thought they were super underrated. Looked cool to me. Same thing with Ikoria. Showcase ones, right on. Other sets, sometimes you hit it, sometimes you miss it.
The one thing about the site that I hate is that when you like put in 100 cards, you have to pick out one of every card. Like you've got to scroll through hundreds of all these 6 arts, and you have to narrow it down. That's what I hate the most. It's like, which sick art do I want? No, I'm just gonna buy 3 of them. Fuck it, I'll buy 3 different versions because I'll find a deck for them or whatever.
They just make you work for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm gonna definitely be doing as I eat my dinner here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, as you if you're just playing with a group of friends and they don't care about proxies, I think NPC or make win cards is like it's the best way to go. I had a buddy that was like super budget, and he was like, he felt bad because he's like, I don't really have I have a larger budget than he does, so I was able to build whatever decks. This was back when I was actually buying every card for every new deck, and I was just like, well, I'm able to build this sick deck, and like he's just kind of like building like these budget versions of the decks that he wants to build, and it feels bad to have a group of friends where budget is dictating the power level of your friend's deck, and he was like, it just felt bad. And then I found this site, and I was like, wait a minute.
You're preaching to the choir. So I do my investing stuff here with a buddy of mine that makes $20K more than I do. So he's got extra funds to spend about, right? Now, I do the YouTube channel on top of our investing stuff. So I've got a real big supply. The other 3 guys in our pod have 2 or 3 kids each, and they don't do any of that. So, of course, I've got more cards, higher quality, larger selection. There's no way that they could compete or would want to. So when we realized after a couple of months of playing, holy shit, we can just print cards on our printer at work, cut them up with our work scissors, tape them together. Oh, my God. We can have decks for the price of penny sleeves infinitely. Oh, man, this like broke the whole thing. Yes, exactly. I got one.
Amazing. You get like 6 pages, and you just go, and it cuts them all out for you. Oh, it's so much better than scissors. Fuck scissors.
Yep. Yeah. So
you heard it here on Cardboard Conversation. Fuck scissors.
Scissors. I hate them.
Get it trending on Twitter, folks.
They're so slow. Hashtag fuck scissors.
If you made it to this point in the podcast, almost 2 hours in, let me know down in the comment section. Fuck scissors. Okay. That's going to be our new Cardboard Conversations hashtag. Instead of
awesome.
Smart, it's going to be fuck scissors.
The first person that puts in the comments below fuck scissors gets a free Cyndaquil Firebird thing that he has. He's ripping up.
Everquill Phoenix.
Yeah.
Cut up.
Yeah, you get the cut up remnants signed by Pat the Popper.
I got a whole sack of them. Yeah. It's like a theme on my channel.
Speaking of people made it this far, and I want to thank everybody for showing up today. Everybody that's even still with us in the audience. Thank you, Alex, so much.
Alex, for sticking with us today, bumbling through 2 hours.
I'm more than happy. I like to conversate, and I like to, talk amongst fellow players and investors, and so on and so forth. Because otherwise, it would just be myself doing all of this, and just I like making friends, so it'd be nice. So I appreciate you having me on. Seriously, it's great. So
a pleasure. Hope to do this again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
You show right up at the end. It's great that you came, but hey, we're about to go.
Yep.
Well, hey, until next week, it's been phenomenal. We'll catch you again soon. Be well to each other and love yourself. I'm Pat the Popper, and this has been Cardboard Conversations. And then I have to click like a couple of more buttons. God.